Hello there, I'm Neurobax. Welcome to this quick guide slash informational on how Tyre works now in 1.8 and 1.9. We had some changes to tires, their wear, before they were all fairly uniform, but now they actually have rather drastic differences. So we're going to figure out how that works, how you can take advantage, and generally what you can expect from this proper tire degradation system. So once you go into your race weekend, you have a overview like this, where you can see, well, the overview, what you can expect. You head over here to reports, and you go to your pre-race report, and here you have something called compound performance. And this is how you can expect your tires to have an effect on the race, or rather the compounds themselves, on the lap times. As you can see for Miami, which is where we are now, the softs are fairly quick. They're about 3.5 tenths quicker than the mediums, and the mediums about 1.5 tenths quicker than the hards. But if you look all the way to the right there, we have something called time loss from degradation, seconds per lap. So we lose about 1.6 tenths from or 0.16 seconds each lap from degradation, meaning that if we run 10 laps on these tires, in theory, we would be 1.6 seconds slower than the average, which will lead us to being 135.1, and by that we'd be fairly slower than the others. But as you can see, mediums degrade slower, just 0.10, hards even slower, 0.07, and this is fairly uniform. You can expect the softs to degrade quicker, but be the quickest, mediums to be middle on both, and hards to be the same. But on certain tracks, you can have certain tires be better choice than others. Some tracks, the softs just vanish in 5 laps, basically making them fairly useless. They might be quick, but they won't last. On other tracks, the mediums and the hards can be basically the same tire, which means that hards will probably be the best choice. And generally, it will pay off for you to go here, have a look at what you can expect, and generally make your choice from there. So, this we're at Miami, as you can see. The mediums are just 1.5 tenth or 0.15 seconds, 0.16, quicker than the hards, and they degrade 0.03 seconds faster than the hards. So within 5 laps, the hards would be competitive with the mediums. They would theoretically be quicker. So if you take that into account, you'll at most, arguing no degradation, 5 laps of 0.15, 0.16 gain, you would end up with about 0.8 seconds total gain until you start losing. So if you take that into consideration, the mediums are the poorer choice here compared to the hards. They will be quicker for the first few laps, but it won't take long until the hards are just as good and even better. And of course, they have a longer life, so you can run them for longer. And if you take that into consideration, I'd say the hards are the better tire here at Miami. When it comes to the softs, they degrade super quick. They degrade 0.06 seconds quicker than the mediums, meaning that the 0.35 you have will last just 6 laps until they're equivalent to the mediums with the same degradation. That is what we're going at here. You start on softs and your opponents start on mediums. It'll only take 6 laps approximately until you're running around the same lap times with degradation in mind. And that can of course be a concern, because the mediums can run longer, and after those 6 laps the mediums will start being potentially fairly quick as well. So this actually opens up a lot of strategy, the tire degradation, and it's nice to see in this game. But in general, if we take this into account, we can now go to our strategies here. The AI has given us the medium to hard, the hard medium medium, and the medium hard soft. Now, since we're in 1.8, 1.9, there's actually currently a bug in the game where they will tell you that the hard tire is super quick here. As you can see, the hard tire is expected to do basically a 0 lap time. So you can expect that estimation throws this thing out of whack here. So if you see something like this strategy is 1.40, 1 minute 40 seconds slower or faster, you can kind of assume that this isn't accurate. You have to do some thinking of your own here until they patch this. But in general, as we said, the softs will only be competitive for 6-7 laps, then the mediums take over, then the hards take over. So medium to hard one stop here is viable, But if you have low smoothness, it's going to be a difficult one. Hard, medium, medium is also potentially doable. But again, it has to do with your stats. But don't be fooled here. Even if you have high smoothness, it will not help you that much when you're going below technically 30% on both your tire sets. And the reason why I'm saying this is fairly straightforward. I've been testing with Piastri, I've been testing with Porsche. Piastri has 50 smoothness in this game, well, in my save, not this game, and Porsche has almost maxed. And the amount of tire wear that's usually between them at the end of their first stints are usually 5, 6, top 7%, and that is 2, 3 more extra laps. It will not end up in faster lap times either, which is a sad part, because the investment into smoothness takes away from pace stats, which are currently the most important ones. That is a entirely different guide. But yeah, with the tire wear now, and the tires actually matter, you need to make strategies accordingly. You need to be clever when safety cars come out and take advantage, because again, have a safety car come out. If you can get out on, say, a fresh pair of hards here behind the safety car, stretch those a bit, do a medium towards the end, for instance. There's a lot of new strategies that you can employ. And if you have any questions or would like any tips on said strategies, you can ask below. But in general, the way that you handle tire wear now is very simple. You go to your pre-race menu here, you have a look at the report, take a look at the tire wear here, you estimate how quick the different tires are, and of course you can do it after, let's say if we do it after 10 laps here, they would lose 1.6 seconds, adding this to 35.1. The mediums would lose a full second, meaning they go 34.9, quicker than the softs after 10 seconds, but of course the softs will still have probably a little bit of an advantage in terms of time. But the fact that you need to pit so early, and I basically locked into a 2-stop in Miami here, potentially makes this a bad choice. So you need to take things like that into consideration. Can I take advantage of the softs and, you know, have a good race, or will it be troublesome? Now, one of the reasons why I would suggest starting on the softs here, on Miami and the other track, for instance, there's some tracks where the softs can be a whole second quicker. I believe one of those instances is Baku. If you are a backmarker or a midfield team, it could be a good idea to start on the softs, go aggressive, not in terms of pace strategy, take that as standard, but when I say go aggressive, use fuel, use ERS efficiently and aggressively to get yourself up into a better DRS train, because that can allow you to score points way above your current car performance. So think about that when you make strategies. Playing safe is often not good in this game, especially if you are just barely fighting for points or you're outside the points. Taking a risk, putting one of your drivers or both on the soft, be a bit aggressive, try and make your way up the field with the early soft stint is definitely a viable strategy. But also keep in mind that you need to make sure that you don't lose out too much time by using a strategy like that. So as I was saying here, we have 35.1, 34.9 after 10 laps, and here we'd have 34.7. So 10 laps in, hard is definitely the best tire, and they can keep going for longer. And because there isn't too much of a difference between these tires to begin with, even if you do a 2-stopper here, a 1-stopper medium to hard will probably do better than, let's say, a 2-stopper from hard to medium, just because of the small differences that the tires have, well, individually, but also over time. So again, it's very different from race to race. It's also very important that when safety cars happen, that you maybe either slow down the game or pause the game and make a consideration. Can I pit here? Where will I come out when I pit? Will the AI pit? Because the thing is, the AI is very, very stupid. And that is sadly not an exaggeration or being mean to the AI. It's just how they are. So with tire strategy, safety cars, the AI, even if they're running 50% tires, they will not pit. So what that means is, if there's a VSC or a safety car and you see the AI is starting to run kind of low, even if you aren't in a perfect position to, you know, pit, you'll lose 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5, 10 positions, something like that. If the AI is low enough that they will have to pit within the next 5 or 6 laps, you pitting early and potentially getting some clean air to run those better tires in will allow you to undercut them immensely. And that is a very, very good way to play the game right now. Currently, I have some good examples on it on the McLaren stream that we're doing. We've been doing strategy with the viewers. They've been great. And honestly, I'll be uploading highlights of that in the near future. So you can have a look at strategy there if you want to. But in general, high strategy is very, very important in this game. It'll make you have easier races for sure. And of course, just be flexible, honestly. If we can start the race here on the hards, but if we see like a safety car around here, we can pit for mediums. We can stretch that medium to get to the next one if we wanna. If we run this one and we see that there is a safety car here, for instance, at lap 19, and we're planning to pit at lap 25, we can pit for hards early. We can run it either we can run it a bit more, what's it called? A bit more careful. Or we can just say that, you know what, we're going to do a soft stint at the end. Because the AI will, for the most part, be on old hards. And even if we end up losing a little bit by pitting, we can probably gain it back by getting on the softs. So keep that in mind. Your tire strategy will evolve with the situation that happened during races. Either crashes, safety car, VSCs, red flags. There could be a plethora of reasons to change your strategy up. You might fall out of the DRS train, and you might want to try and use a pit strategy to get back into it. You might try to undercut the AI, might try to overcut. There's a plethora of way of doing things, but in general, the way that they've changed the tires now in 1.8 and 1.9 is great. You have so much more freedom in your strategy. The best thing anymore isn't just a one-stop medium to hard on every track. So I hope you've learned something here. It's not really a guide, it's more informational and some strategy suggestions, but if it had helped you, please go ahead and like and subscribe. It would help me out a ton, and I'm always grateful if you would like to do so. I'd like to give a big thanks to my subscribers and members on my channel, and hopefully we can continue having fun with this game. See you next time. Bye bye.